All right. Don't say anything confidential. Just kidding. It's a safe space. Feel free to speak your mind. Um, share this one. To share this one. Alrighty. Okay. And then, can you all see my screen okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, very good. So we'll go through that in a second. So let's just look and see what some of the things people are saying. Zip forms are unfamiliar. Just curious to see how it's going to look integrated with command and if there's anything specific I need to know, Catherine. Yes, there's a lot you're going to need to know. Not so much zip forms. This lone wolf is kind of like its own animal, no pun intended. You're going to learn a lot just today, and then again, you'll continue to learn more like as the system rolls out. As with most things with Keller Williams, when we have our hand in it, we have the ability to do feature requests. So if you don't know this, there is a site called ideas.kw.com where they pull a lot of agent opinions and thoughts and kind of like what's important to the agents of Keller Williams. So that way we can make sure that all of our technology and other things really like is molded to the people who build the company, being like you all. Heard is much easier and reliable, so excited to learn. Definitely, my opinion, it's a lot easier. The way I kind of gauge that is you don't have to do as many clicks. So a lot of things in DocuSign required you to click in one place, come back, click in another place. If something wasn't right, unclick, re-click, click, 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 click. You're not going to do as many clicks this time around. And that's okay, so I have to go in and out. All right, no worries on that. Okie doke. So what I had before you, I'm going to ask that everyone take a screenshot or take a picture of. This is your roadmap for Lone Wolf. So you kind of see it started in April. Again, we've been kind of talking about this since May. I'm going to read through the May part, but again, you're going to focus on more so the June piece. So what this says is on our Lone Wolf transaction on our Lone Wolf transition, say that 3 times fast, May 1st should have been your listing cutoff. What that means is if you have a transaction, and we're going to use a 60 to 90 day window, if you have a transaction and you started it in DocuSign and it does not look like it's going to close by July 14th, I need you to stop everything you're doing and begin the process of downloading that paperwork and putting it into Lone Wolf. When it comes to Lone Wolf and DocuSign, I'm just going to give it to you just the way they explained it to us. Keller Williams had a relationship with DocuSign, like a business partnership. That business partnership done is kaput, right? It's a breakup. It is what it is. We now are working with Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf is kind of like a subsidiary of like Authentisign, which is owned by Stone Point Capital, who has partnered with Keller Williams. So we don't own it, Authentisign, but we do have a large stake in Lone Wolf. So because of that, the DocuSign as you know it is no longer going to exist as of July 14th. I do not know for certain what the DocuSign version will or what DocuSign will look like with respect to agents who want to pay for it after July 14th. From what I have been told, you are going to get a public DocuSign account. I don't even believe it's going to feature like your documents like it does now. You're probably going to have to manually pull all that stuff in, get it in there, create everything, set it up and whatnot, in addition to paying whatever that fee is. I can also tell you if you wait till July 14th, I cannot help you get anything out of DocuSign. I will not have access to DocuSign to help you. Your market center will not have access to DocuSign to help you. The regional tech people, and most likely Keller Williams themselves, will not have access to help you get anything out of DocuSign. So that's why we want to like wave and turn on all the alerts and all the bells to let you know that, hey, we need you to really, really, really prioritize this today. So if you have a listing, just go ahead and start the process of getting it out of there. I'm going to show you step by step how to set up your Lone Wolf, how to tell, but again, we want to get you into it early so we can get everyone, a good feel of it. All right. Any questions on that part? All right. As for June, what we need to worry about this month, okay? We're doing a lot more outreach. So you're going to see my face a lot more, doing these classes, doing these sessions. Of course, if you can't make these classes when they're scheduled, feel free to book some time with me. We still do tech support daily. So you can jump on, I'll walk you through it. I'll teach you everything that I know thus far. But most importantly, attend those 201 or 101, 102, 201, whatever you call them, beginner and advanced classes. So that way you have the ability to understand exactly what's going on with Lone Wolf as the system continues to grow. All right. Our buyer cutoff is today. So if you have a buyer, we talked about listings. If you have a buyer who looks like they're not going to close by July 14th, again, considering like things happen during transactions. If you're under contract now, you probably already know, like, hey, this person is scheduled to close on the 15th. Take them out. Take them out. Download it. You don't have to get those forms re-signed. You just have to download them. Your KW emails come with the Google Drive. That Google Drive is about 2 terabytes big. So more like information you're ever going to need. I almost want to say it's an unlimited drive. Take those documents that you download and put those into your drive. If your transaction already closed or has closed and is going to close before the 14th, you're okay. It will be backed up in your command account, remember, which is connected to Lone Wolf and connected to DocuSign, but it is not the same. Okay. So you're all right. But again, please, for the sake of like your sanity and mine's also, um, if you can, when you can, go ahead and make sure that we're connected to Lone Wolf. And then finally, July 14th, we officially go live. DocuSign access ends. All new transactions must, like capital MUST, must be processed through Lone Wolf Transact. Okay. So that's our timeline. Any questions on the timeline? All right. Very good. So what I'm going to do today for our session is I'm going to give you a plain English guide to Lone Wolf Transact. Just straightforward, how to use it, what to do. After we do that, okay, and again, if you have any questions, come off mute. This is the time to ask. There's no dumb question. Um, After we do that, I'm going to walk you through some of the steps. So I'm going to show you the slides because I'm going to share these slides with everybody. So we'll get a list of everyone who attended. If you can, right now for me, give me your name. Even if we met before, put your name in the chat and your email that you want to receive this to. Okay. Name in the chat and email. All right. I will make sure that I get this slide sent over to you so you can reference the slide. All right. After we go through the slides, I'm going to answer any questions and then I'll walk you through Lone Wolf and we'll cover as much as we can. All
Hey
right.
Brandon,
So
when can we sign on to Lone Wolf?
today, right now.
Is there a certain code to get in there, or just
Hang on. Somebody's writing on the screen. No, it's not a certain code. Like I said, I'm going to walk you through everything so you'll be good to go. What's happening? All right, no worries. So we'll go to the next page. Oh, it's everywhere. Give me 1 second. I don't know how to clear that off. All right, move. If I refresh this. Oh no. Okay, sorry about that. Don't know how to fix that. Not gonna spend too much time. Okay, or better yet, let me try to stop sharing and share again and see if that fixes this. Just because. Gotcha. Some votes. Gotcha. All right. We're back. Okay. So again, first page is going to talk about that transition guide. We already kind of spent enough time talking about it. July 14th is the day you need to know. We are already connected to command. Your deadline is coming up. You've got a little more than a month. Please don't wait until the last minute. What we know about DocuSign is kind of a thing of the past, and we'll be focusing from now on what Lone Wolf does. So here's just quick like vocabulary sheet for you. So in DocuSign, we had rooms. In Lone Wolf, they are not called rooms. They're called a transaction. So if you hear me say rooms, I'm apologizing now. It's a transaction, okay? Envelopes. That was the vehicle that we used to send documents out, mostly for signatures. In Lone Wolf, it's called a signing, okay? And then we also just put authenticsign because sometimes you'll see that in certain places. But envelopes, signing. Autofill. In Lone Wolf, that is going to be our apply templates feature. So again, you'll see that in a second. It'll make a little more sense. And then finally, if you've ever taken a class with me in DocuSign, I always told you, hey, try not to delete because deleting is permanent. Try to archive it. But in Lone Wolf, we are going to delete, and it does remove it from the active folder, but it retains a record of it. So deleting is not permanent in Lone Wolf, okay? All right, phase one. So again, if you have those documents, or I'm sorry, those transactions and opportunities, so inside of command, and you need to get them out of there, okay? This is your opportunity screen. You're gonna go in there, click on download. After you click, or I'm sorry, first hit select all, then you're gonna click on download, and it's gonna give you a zip folder. So it's a little folder that pops up at the top of your screen. You have to unzip the folder, and then you will be able to have access to those documents. So that's if you have a whole bunch of documents in there. If you are a, tenured agent and you have multiple transactions, you do not need to do this if they are already closed. This is only if they are not going to be closed by July 14th. You do have the ability to pay API Nation to do this for you. I do not know the cost offhand. It is a few dollars per transaction, but again, it is a really easy process to download it. So if I could save you a couple bucks, I'd love to. But if you insist on, paying for it, API Nation will handle the migration of these documents. They're not going to upload them to Lone Wolf. They're just going to download them from your DocuSign account into a folder and pretty much tell you here, figure it out. Okay. As I said earlier, when you get them and they're in that zip folder, we don't want you to leave them in the folder because, if your hard drive looks anything like mine, I got tons of folders from tons of transactions that are just kind of scattered all over the place. Put them into your command cloud. So that's your KW email. So again, you go to your KW email, you click on Drive. If you do not know this already, you have 2 terabytes. That's a whole lot of space. You can use that information and you can use that cloud and get your documents in there so that way you can have 2 paths of saving them. So save them in there, save them to command, create a custom folder. Either of those options is okay. It's only if you have to download paperwork. All right, so that's phase one. Just kind of clearing it out. Phase two, and this is what we're going to start on as soon as we finish these slides. Phase two is going to be making the connection. So what we need to do, we need to clear cookies. So no, not the cookies that come with milk. These are your computer cookies. So you're going to go in here. Most of us are using Chrome. Hopefully you're using Chrome when using command. And we're going to clear those cookies. Once you clear them, what it's going to do is kind of give your computer a refresh. There are a few people who have mentioned that they had issues with Lone Wolf with the setup process. And what we have found over time is that it's because their cookies need to be cleared. Now, I'm just going to tell you, if you're following along at home and you clear your cookies right this second, you might get kicked off the Zoom. And if you do, it's okay. You can come right back. But just a heads up, if you're following along at home, you may get kicked off. But again, you just jump right back in. Matt, I saw you go green. Did you have a question? All right, no worries. Okay. And then, okay. So then after we've cleared your cookies, how you're going to connect to Lone Wolf is you're going to go into the settings tab. So this little cog in command. Once you click that, you're going to go down to settings on your list of applets. So it's the same one that'll have where like DocuSign used to be, but it'll have that, Facebook, Facebook Business, X, all that other kind of stuff on there. You want to look for the applet for Lone Wolf. Okay. There's a section that's called digital signatures and transactions. It's going to be under there. Okay. Click that and then it'll start to connect. Now, just another little disclaimer. Once you do this, you cannot connect DocuSign back to command. So once you disconnect DocuSign and connect Lone Wolf, you cannot disconnect Lone Wolf and go back to command. It's not gonna, oh, I'm sorry, and go back to DocuSign. It's not gonna let you. If you still need to get into DocuSign, you're gonna go to rooms.docusign.com. So rooms with an S, .docusign.com to access any documents that you may still have in DocuSign. And that's only until the 14th. So that's how you jump directly into there. Again, finally, you'll connect your Lone Wolf account, follow the pop-ups. So when you're going through this process, if for whatever reason it doesn't connect, just make sure you don't have a pop-up blocker on. It usually will pop up in another window. So again, people who we have done this with before, like, I don't see it, it's not working. It's usually like a little window that's going to pop up. So if you're looking at it full screen, you may just have to, minimize it a little bit so that you can see it. Sign up for your free account. You'll only ever have to do this one time. And in doing this, you also want to make sure that the email that you're using is an email that you have access to, because you can't change that email. Okay. All right. On to phase 3. So what does our new daily workflow loop look like? So this is just what the process is of sending documents out, getting ratified, submitting them, and getting paid. First, you're creating an opportunity. Okay. Nothing has changed there. Create the opportunity in command, sync your client data. That's number 1. That's creation. 2 is our Lone Wolf editor, which is going to be our preparation. You're going to add forms into Lone Wolf and let the system autofill the details. Again, very, very similar to DocuSign. Whatever information you put into that opportunity, assuming the forms have that specific section, it's going to autofill it. It'll put it in there, and then you'll be good to go. With any additional information you need, you can just manually put that in. The Authenticsign is our signature piece. So most of our documents are already mapped for you to be able to send these out to clients. So you'll be good there. Excuse me. When you're inside like editing and working with documents, you can add more signature blocks. You can do stuff like templates. There's just a lot of different things that you can do inside of there. And like I said, we'll go into that more in just a moment. And then finally, our command compliance. So once everything is finished in Lone Wolf, it goes back to how it was before or how it is right now. You'll submit everything for compliance. You'll pull up your signed PDFs back in the command, same way you did before. And then you'll submit each individual folder to your MCAs. Your MCA is going to say everything, hey, this looks good. Congratulations, your check's on the way. And then you complete the process over and over and over. Any questions on that? Pretty straightforward. All right. So again, something that really hasn't changed. We just want to reiterate this. So anytime we're starting a new deal, we want to do it in command. It's going to be just creating the opportunity, going into our documents tab. So you'll start out in the details one, as you can see from this photo. Click on documents. Once you pick your checklist type, So that's going to be like residential, listing, tenant, landlord. You'll be able to see all the documents that the office requires. They'll show right under the document section. And then you'll click, instead of sync with DocuSign, it'll be sync with with Transact. It'll be in the same section the DocuSign option was, but you want to just make sure you hit sync with Transact. Again, just understand that command automatically builds a new Lone Wolf transaction and pushes your client name, property info, and dates right into it. So you do not have to do any of the zero double typing. If you haven't used command in a while, we do have a feature that's called smart dates. So it's a little more intuitive with dates. So if you put those dates in there in your transaction as you're building it out and putting it together, what it's going to do is it'll also bring those into Lone Wolf, and it's a little bit of like a reminder system. So it'll just say like, hey, like this item is due on this date. So it's a tad bit more intuitive than what DocuSign has been in the past for us.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
All right. Are all the forms for Virginia and West Virginia already on Lone Wolf?
So that's a good question. I'm going to tell you that they should be. If you notice that something is not there, right? This is like put together by humans. So it's a good chance it's not perfect. You are going to let me know. That's why we want you to get in here as soon as possible so we can address anything. Your brokers, your MCAs, your whole team have been working really, really hard on this for a while to make sure that we have everything in there. So your forms should be in there. You'll also notice that when we sign up for Lone Wolf, just like with DocuSign, you have to put in your NRDS ID to have access to forms. So, or to documents, sorry. What that
Right.
means is like your MLS, your local MLS, so like your Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, DC, just depending on where you're licensed, will populate based on what you have. Excuse me.
Like, for example, I belong to Blue Ridge, so I get
Okay.
Virginia forms. But for the West Virginia, I think I want to say I paid 150, maybe $200 this
Mhm.
year. And they ask you, do you want dot loop? Do you want DocuSign?
Mhm.
Has
Okay.
anybody reached out to these associations to let them know that we need to get the forms to Lone Wolf?
Yes. So as I said, your brokers and MCAs, who are probably like the two biggest players in this transition process, have been the ones who have been working on this with Keller Williams as a whole. Because the good thing about it is this is not a office specific change. This is a change that the entire like Keller Williams company brokerage is going through. So not just our MLSs, but MLSs like all over the country have been notified, have been informed of this change. So that's why I said it's just that the way Lone Wolf works, I am not able to look into so what I'm looking for. I'm not able to look at MLSs that I don't have access to. So if I'm not a part of an MLS, I can't look at those documents, and that is done intentionally. So we would have to go ahead and get you set up, Terry. Once we get you in there, then I can go through with you and we can sit and we can make sure that your NRDS ID is being picked up and giving you access to those specific to those specific forms that you're looking for.
Okay,
But
thank you.
like I said, the other offices that I've worked with and that I've spoken to so far, there was an issue with some DC forms. I believe that's been resolved, but I have not, like knock on wood, heard any issues about West Virginia. So we should be good to go.
All right.
Okay. I was able to get in the connect, so I double type all my transactions. Yeah, so definitely to your comment in the chat, Joyce, we will take a look at that. So again, book the time, don't wait. The sooner the better. We can get this stuff looked at and address it and do whatever we can to get you going. All right. So once we get into a transaction, just gonna kind of like see our way around it. Uh if we break the screen down into a few sections on that far left side, that's where the majority of all your information is going to appear. Okay. So that's going to be the party. So that's anyone involved in the transaction, the property info, and the offer details. If you type your info once, it fills out everywhere automatically. So as long as it has that field, it will auto populate it there. The center, which is like your paper, those are going to be your actual documents and folders. So those will match your command checklist exactly. So those are the checklists that when you're in that opportunity and it says, hey, this has to be turned in for this particular transaction. These are the documents that the office is going to say we need. And you have the ability to add your own documents. So for all of my teams, coaches, anybody who has a specific maybe disclosures that they use, this is where you can drop that info. And then in the top right, these are your actions. So this is where you'll add paperwork. This is where you'll open the editor. And this is where you will send stuff out for signing. All right. You no longer have to fill out forms by hand. So what I mean by that is when you open your document in the editor, instead of hunting for like the blank lines on the contract, there's going to be a section that you're going to see that just says listing info, and it's going to give you the different line items on that specific document. Once you fill in those documents on the left-hand side, they will populate. I'm sorry, once you fill out those sections on the side, it's going to populate into your documents. So all the documents with that field, it'll add it to it. Okay, not just the one. So it's kind of like one time I'm putting in the list price, anywhere it shows list price, it's going to populate. One time where I'm putting in property address, it'll populate that everywhere, and then so on and so forth. The system is going to instantly map that data directly onto the correct lines across every page of your contract. And then another like cool feature, which if we have some time, I'll get to it today. If not, I promise like it'll be in the next session, is you can set that up not just as a template, but I forget what they call it, but you can set it up so that every document that has that particular field will have that. So it's called a layout. So you'll have that layout every single time you come in here. So maybe it's like signatures, initials, something like that. Makes your life super easy. Custom edits. So they're just one click away. So I don't know if you've ever had to do a strike through in DocuSign. It's a little bit annoying trying to find the strike through feature and where they hit it at and everything else. You just need to cross out, if you need to cross out a standard term, just select the strike through, drag it. It's clean, easy, straight to the point. Same thing with our magic clauses. So we have a feature that's going to be called clauses. And what clauses let you do is add a section to the contract and you can save it. So again, so let's say like your buyer is to pay $500 for a TC fee. You don't want to add it as a template, but you want to add it as a clause. I can have that clause, or I could have several other that maybe like the TC fee escalates depending on the price of the home. So I can toggle through my different clauses inside of that document and say like, hey, this particular transaction, I use clause 1, I use clause 2, I use clause 3. Your office can also upload their own clauses for us to use. So depending on what office you have, if like there's a big announcement that comes and like broker man is like, hey, we need you guys to be cognizant of this particular update with contracts, he can add the clause. And instead of you having to call Matt every day, at the same time saying like, hey, what was that language again you wanted me to use? He can just say, it's clause 4. Just go in there, add it, apply it, you're good to go. All right. Next up, we have getting your signatures. So to get your document signed, you're going to click prepare for signing at the top right. You'll click add participants. And then from the transaction, you'll be able to say like, hey, this is my client number 1. This is my client number 2. You'll be able to add them, and this automatically grabs your buyer seller's data from command. So just make sure that information is correct. You'll be able to drag the signature and initial blocks onto the document. Signatures will automatically have dates, so you don't have to do the signature date dance anymore. And then you'll click send, and your client receives a secure, easy to click email link. So again, they don't have to go in, start an account, sign up, do this, do that. They just get the document, they'll sign it. Once they've signed and anyone else has signed, it will return to them a signed copy. All right. And then finally closing our transaction loop and getting you all paid. Once everything is done, this is now back into command. So back under the opportunity, under the document sections, you'll go back into command, click opportunities, click documents. And then if you don't see it right away, just click the refresh button. The one just thing to note is you'll have an option when you're uploading documents into command to either upload from your computer. So that's if something is saved to your computer. But in this particular case, you want to make sure it says Lone Wolf. And then we'll upload those documents from Lone Wolf, and you'll have all the names of your documents, as well as like the folders that they may have been submitted in, so on and so forth.
Hey, Brandon,
Yes.
I need to interrupt you 1 second. The slide you just had, the one before
Not
one,
this one, the one before it.
correct?
Mhm.
Where you said you have to drag the signature and initial blocks into the document. So in DocuSign, it normally does it on its own. So now we have to do a drag like an extra
Not
step?
in every case, just
Oh,
in
okay.
certain cases. Yeah, that's just
Okay.
just the way it's worded. That's all.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. No problem. All right, and then command will update immediately once you have pulled these forms in. You can now select the final signed PDF directly from your Lone Wolf folder and drop it into your command checklist and submit it over for compliance to be reviewed. There's another feature as well that, again, just don't know if you use this in DocuSign, but you can use the magic email trick. So you can email documents directly from your email into your Lone Wolf transaction. So the scenario they give us is a co-op agent emails you an executed PDF contract. You don't need to download it and then upload it. Just go into your email, go on to Lone Wolf, look for the upload by email option. It's going to give you a unique email address specific to that transaction. So it's not going to give you a different email address every time you click this option in the same transaction. So let's say we're talking about 123 Main Street. I'm the listing agent. The buyer's agent sent over a contract and we're ready to get this executed. Instead of me downloading it to my computer, all I have to do is go into my email, put in that unique Lone Wolf email address. And from now on, every single document I get from this particular person, I can just email it straight into the Lone Wolf transaction. So that should save you a bunch of time. You will get a different email address for a different transaction, but for the same transaction, it'll be the same email address every single time. Okay. All right. So now you're ready to run with the pack. So some of the golden rules we talked about. Again, always clear your browser cookies if the system starts acting weird. Again, that and or the refresh button will get you far. You can always start a new deal from a command opportunity. Always start a new deal from a command opportunity. So similar to DocuSign, don't go into Lone Wolf and then create the transaction because they're not going to be synced. Go to command first, start the transaction. Once you do, you'll now have them, and then you can go back and forth between both easily. Use that left panel in Lone Wolf to autofill your forms, and then set up layouts to save templates for when your signatures go in standard form. So again, as we start to build this out, it'll get easier. It'll make more sense. You'll have all these abilities. We talked about the ability also as agents that you have to submit requests. So if you have a suggestion or an idea how we can make this better, we want to hear from you. So that's going to be ideas.kw.com. If you want like an instant question, maybe you don't want to wait for a one-on-one. If you don't know this, we also have answers.kw.com. If you've ever attended one of my classes like you're doing now, I build my trainings around these articles in answers.kw.com. So that way, if you watch my training and then maybe you still don't know, or you want to skip the video and go right to answers.kw, the same way those things in there are laid out are the same way I teach the classes, which hopefully makes your life a lot easier when you're going through or when you're unsure of maybe some things. All right, so that's all I have for slides. As promised, I'm going to go into Lone Wolf and I'll run through everything just for anybody who may have come in a little after we started this intro. If you can for me, put your name and your email in the chat so I can make sure I send you a copy of the slide as well as a recording. Just don't quote me. Like, I'm going to do my best to get it tonight. I have to eat and walk my dog. So if I don't get it to you guys tonight, you will have it like by tomorrow by noon. You have my word. If you don't have it by tomorrow by noon, I'll send it to you. If you message me before tomorrow at noon, I'm going to tell you wait till noon, make sure you got it, and then we'll get it to you. It is going to be a longer recording, so the video does have to like render and set up and do all that fun stuff. All right.
And then I do have a question.
Yes.
So is there a way to have access to Lone Wolf and DocuSign at the same time as Virtual Listening? Because he said that once we connected to Command, that we can't access DocuSign.
Well, it's not that you can't access DocuSign. You can't access DocuSign after July 14th. And let me rephrase it. You
Well,
can't
but we
access
can't get
Go ahead.
the only reason we would want to access it is to get signatures, these signatures. And I guess that's my question, is that we can't get clients to sign with DocuSign anymore. Is that what you're saying?
I'm gonna repeat your question just make so you're asking, are you still able to get clients to sign in DocuSign?
Correct. You already kind of said that we can't, once we connect Lone Wolf to DocuSign, we can't use DocuSign connected to Command, right? But I guess
Right.
we'll still have access to DocuSign. We'll just have to download it and put it in Command. Okay.
Right. So once you disconnect from DocuSign and Command,
Correct.
you can't set Command back up with DocuSign.
Right.
You
And
can.
I kind of answered my question myself. So I guess I
Okay.
can still get it signed, but then I just have to upload it to Command. Got it.
Right. And again, like if you know something is closing in the next couple of days, right? Or even before that deadline, you can still go to rooms.docusign.com and I'll show you guys on here. So if you go to rooms.docusign, this is the direct login to DocuSign Rooms. So this is the same version like that we use as like Keller Williams agents. So if you have something that's going to close beforehand, you disconnect DocuSign from Command, you're worried about getting in, blase swaze, like you're fine. You can log directly in. Again, like, sorry, I don't use DocuSign. But you could log in, put everything in, and it'll take you through it. Like you could see all of your rooms inside of there. However, after the 14th, from my understanding, you're not going to be able to do that. It's going to probably ask you to create a whole new account. So that's the only kind of like thing that I would say to just to kind of be mindful of when it comes to that. But if you have somebody that, you know, like you're going on an appointment tomorrow, just start them in Lone Wolf.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So from the Command home screen, again, we don't use personal accounts anymore. Now everyone should have a business account as their solo agent account. So up here at the top where it says my name and then says Brandon Long Business, it's my personal account. So we want to create the connection from here. I'm going to click this drop down and I'm going to go down to settings. Now, well, two things really quick. One, I'm already connected, so I can't disconnect Lone Wolf. There's no, as you can see, like disconnect from here option for me. But for you, if you haven't done this before, your first step, the second thing is to clear cookies. How do you clear cookies? If you haven't ever done it before, you're going to click these three dots up here. You're going to go down to delete browsing data. And then under delete browsing data, you don't need to check you don't need to check browser history. You don't need to check your cache images. You don't need to clear your download history. You just want to leave cookies and other site data checked. Once you do that, you can hit delete data. After you do that, your computer will spin for a little bit, just depending if you did like the last hour or from forever. Once that's finished, then come in here and connect to Lone Wolf. Okay. Once you connect to Lone Wolf, again, you're going to get that pop-up window. Use an email address that you have access to. Doesn't have to be your KW email. It can be your personal email. It could be your business email. It could be like a DBA email, whatever it is. But we can't change it after the fact. Once you get in there and set it up, if you forget which email you use, we're probably going to have to go back in and set it up again. All right. Now, I could just hit go to transact right here. That's going to just open up Lone Wolf. But what I want to do, and I'll walk you through this part a little bit. What I want to do though is show you the proper workflow, that loop that we talked about. And I'm going to create a contact and then walk you through the contact, the opportunity, and all that other stuff. But essentially, this is what the basic screen for Lone Wolf looks like. We have our transactions here. For those of these two big squares. At the top, we have the option to do transactions, signings, which is how we'll send documents out, and then templates, which is where you'll create documents. Again, this is just giving you kind of like just a quick overview of it. If you want, you can sign out here. You can go to settings. You shouldn't have really a bunch of stuff to manage in your account. Again, your first time in here, you will have to connect your NRDS ID. So the sooner you do that and check and see if you have access, will tell me and let your market center know if there are any documents that maybe you're missing or you don't see or you don't show. Sometimes it happens for a variety of reasons. Just let us know and we're happy to support you with that. All right, so now I'm going to go back through and start working you through what your workflow should look like. So I'm just going to go into hit this red and white KW, go down to contacts. I'm going to pull up my contacts and I'm going to look for myself. All right.
Now,
once I found myself. Oh,
Brandon,
yes.
every time we set up contacts
Mhm.
in command, when they're going to still be there.
Yes. They shouldn't go anywhere.
All right. So from the time that I opened up my account through KW command, and if I added 400 people, those 400 people are still going to be there.
Yes, they should.
Okay.
And if you notice, again, anything weird, strange, out of the ordinary, let me know.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to click on myself. We'll come in here. And then again, if you've attended any of my classes before, on that right-hand side, I'm going to go to opportunities, this left-hand side of the screen. So next to this imaginary line right here is all of my contact information. This is the information that's going to get pulled into Lone Wolf when it comes to the contact info. So over here on the right, I'm clicking opportunities. I'm going to go to create opportunity. And I'm going to do a listing opportunity. All right. So again, your market center will say your market center. Right now I'm under my resting profile, so it just says resting. Seller is myself. Opportunity name. So again, best practice is to just use the property address when you have it. So I'm just going to say 123 Main Street listing. The phases and stages, well, we can skip for now. The property address, I'm going to add it from KWLS. And we'll just put in 123 Main Street. Show all listings. All right, this one works. Let's see, South Carolina. Let's try to do closer. No worries. We'll just use market center listing and forego the Main Street. Market center listing. All right, no worries. So I'll just type in 123 Main Street, Bethesda, Ohio. Sure, it works for me. Let's go ahead and create. Once we created our opportunity, we have it in here. Looks good. I know this is the right one because this is January 1st, 2026. So now I'm going to click into the opportunity. Again, none of this should look any different. Should be pretty straightforward for right now. And then inside of here, it brings me to my details tab. So as I talked earlier about the key dates, your smart dates over here, these will help you in Lone Wolf because you'll see some of them kind of like carry over. So let's just say like home inspection date. I'm gonna set it for the 15th. And then target live date. I'm gonna set it for the 3rd. And then estimated close date. We'll say July 1st. There we go. All right. So now that I have my details in place, they look good to go. Again, this is just a test transaction, so don't report me. Under documents, I'm gonna pick my checklist type. And then I'm gonna go to Virginia because I'm selling in Virginia. All right. I have everything populated in here, and you'll notice in your office checklist, they now have this LW next to it. So that just means for Lone Wolf. I'm going to hit sync with transact, and then that's going to create a transaction in Lone Wolf. So again, it's going to spin, spin, spin. Once it does, you can see your tab name change at the top. And it's going to bring me straight into the Lone Wolf e-signature platform. All right. So we talked about inside of here. So this is what it looks like inside of actual transaction. On the left-hand side, this is the brain. So this is just all the info of the transaction, property address. Again, like just disregard it says Ohio, pretend it says Virginia. It's shared with me because I created it. But if I had a TC or anyone else like that, it would say shared with them as well. I could mark it as active. I could terminate it. So this terminate feature is pretty cool. It's not deleting the transaction. Let's say I have this transaction. Everything looks good so far. A week from now, the deal falls through, right? I just hit terminated. And what it does is it archives everything inside of here, and it'll allow me to create another version within the same transaction. Similar to the way command works. So again, don't know if you know this, but inside of opportunities, I can create another version if this deal falls through. So that's going to be, oh, it's been a while since I did this. Settings. Custom folder. Oh, right here. So under listed, if your deal ever falls through, don't create a new opportunity. Just go under listed or buyer or whatever it is, and I can add a new version. And now it's listed version 2, and I just hit create new version. And I can upload all the new documents because I'm sure you're supposed to hang on to all those documents even when the deal falls through. Unfortunately, it happens. Just create version 2, and then you can always like click back and forth between them. So just kind of keep that in mind. Sorry, I didn't do that. Lone Wolf has that same feature. So that's what the terminated option is on that far left side. All right. So from this page, we have paperwork. So that's just what they call like where all your documents are. We said we can upload them by email. So that's where you're going to get that unique email code. Just copy it here. Click this option. It'll say copy to your computer clipboard. And then you'll just paste that. You have the instructions here just in case you forget. You have the instructions here, and then you can send straight into your room any PDF, document, docx, Excel spreadsheet, BMP, GIFs, JPEGs, JPGs, PNGs, TIFs, TIFFs. Like, it's not much that you really can't put in there. So just keep it in mind. Like I said in the beginning, the goal is to make less clicks for you. You can also create folders. So let's say you wanted to create like a ratified folder. It's fine. No problem. Just go ahead and click that. Your folder has been added. And now I have a ratified folder right here. All right. If I wanted to add a document that doesn't already appear in here, I just need to go to add paperwork. And then this is where I'll have the ability to add documents from my libraries. So to Terry's point earlier when she was asking about like, hey, so what if I'm in like West Virginia? This is where you'll find the documents for like West Virginia. What if I'm in, and granted, I'm not using a lone wolf from you guys' market centers. So the rest of Market Center doesn't have that feature. Your Market Center should. If you don't see it, just reach out, let me know. It's a quick and easy fix, okay? But I don't know because I can't see you guys' accounts unless I'm logged in with you, okay? The first thing I want you to try, though, if it doesn't work out this way, right here at the bottom, click here to link NRDS ID. I can't tell you how many times people call me and say like, hey, I put my NRDS ID and it didn't work, and that's their local MLS ID. You have two different IDs. This is your national realtor ID or realtor ID. Put this one in, select the state, click Virginia, put your number in, and then submit, okay? Of course, if it's not Virginia we're referring to, then you'll put in the appropriate state, but try that first, because if that's all it is, you can save yourself a lot of time and having to wait to get on the session with me, and then we go in, take 2 minutes, and then we get it fixed. I want to help you, but like just keep that in mind as a troubleshooting tip for dealing with lone wolf. All right. Don't go to buy form libraries. I don't know what that is, so don't click it. Upload. That's just from your computer. You have a document on your computer that you use all the time, maybe a disclosure form, maybe just like a, I don't know, pre-listing checklist. If people still do that kind of stuff, you can upload it from here, hit browse files, and then just pull it straight in from your computer, and it'll appear inside of here. Okay. Your form libraries, again, are going to be set up by your office. So anything that you could possibly want should be in here. Let's just do this. Looks fine. Click on this, and it's going to add it. Form successfully added. If it's already in here, you'll see it'll have a green check. If it's not in here, it'll say add. I'll click add, and then it'll add it to the transaction for us. Okay. Any questions about that so far? Okie doke. So to get in here and edit documents, I'm just going to go in and I'm going to click the document. So with Command, you have this similar feature. If I click on a document, as long as one is selected, or click on a contact, or as long as one is selected, this little bar at the bottom pops up, and it gives me the option for editor. So again, I want to edit the document. Sign, I want to get it ready for signatures. Email just sends it out. Sends it straight out to the person. It's not letting me do anything beforehand. Download, I can download this form to my computer, and I get the blank form. Print, pretty straightforward. And then delete. It's going to remove it altogether, okay? And then just this X just closes out that little window, okay? I'm going to go in here to editor. And it's going to pull me in here. Again, just another pro tip. Sometimes I've seen a few people get stuck on that like loading portion. Just refresh it. If that does happen to you, it's okay. Just refresh and you'll be good to go. All right. So starting from the top left, I can zoom in. I can zoom in a lot. I can zoom out a lot. It's a zoom. My forms and adding paperwork. So right now we're looking at the listing agreement addendum, optional buyer broker compensation. this is what document we're using for right now. If I wanted to add another document to this section, this is going to show me all the documents in my room over here. And all I have to do is, sorry, I'm going to go fast. Click it, drag it, and it's going to add it to this section for me. So just give it a second. There we go, spinning. So now instead of one, it's showing me. Take my own advice. Just refresh. And it should be a little faster for you. I'm on a Zoom sharing with you all, so when I'm not sharing my screen, it should work a little faster, but all right. So yeah, so anywho, that's gonna load. Give it a second. I should have everything now in here. There we are. And then now my next set of documents or document that I added, exclusive right to sell listing agreement, is here. So whereas before in DocuSign, if I forgot to attach this document to the editor, it's like, oh man, I got to go all the way back, add it, drag it in, bring it in. These are all the forms from your transaction right here, okay? So again, should be a lot easier for you. I talked about writing information into documents pretty easily. So I'm going to skip this parties tab for right now. But again, that's just the people involved in a transaction. Right now, it has me as a seller 1 because I selected myself as a seller. I'm also the listing agent 1, so I guess I'm selling my own home. And then my listing broker here. But for right now, let's go to listing info. So this is that section where I mentioned that I can just go through here, fill this out, and then it's going to apply everywhere this information lives. So my MLS number is not just for this document, it's for the next document. Property address, not just for this document, but it's for the next one. So as I'm putting this stuff in, it's all going to populate in its proper fields, okay? As long as it has one, so let's just say 1,000, listing side commission, leased items, all that kind of fun stuff, legal description. Now it is going to pull from this document because it's the one that I have showing. But as I go through, it's going to give me that everywhere else, okay? Again, just give it a second to load. These fields that are already mapped out are just what it got from command. So this was my property address, my office address, my phone number, my email address. I just typed in 500,000 on that top part and it pulled it into the listing agreement. So that's pretty cool too. And then you can just go through, add these in, and then whatever is missed or was missed, that's where you can type in and add it. Okay. Clauses is another feature that we talked about. So this is just that section that I mentioned. So if you wanted to create a clause, so you do have like a library of them. When you create one, it's going to go to person. If the office creates one, it's going to show up under office. So again, when there's a big announcement or change or maybe a disclosure that needs to be incorporated, this is where we'll add those for you guys at. For you, the agent, if you create it under personal, we can't see it. People on your team can't see it, but you will be able to see it. So just know, display, create new clause, title, TC. Making that up. All right. Bada bing. Save. Now my clause is saved forever and ever. And when I'm ready to apply it, all I have to do is go in here, click it again. Now it shows 1. And then I can just use that wherever I want to. And I'll show you when we get to the end of the contract how to actually throw that in. You also have tools. So your tools are going to be your markups. So if I want to add a text box, if I want to highlight, do a line. We talked about doing a strike through. Watermark. So is this something that's confidential? Is this a draft? Colors. So if I want to change a text field from like black or blue, don't know if you all know this, but you can do in-person signings as well. So if you want to do an in-person signing, maybe for the in-person you want to use blue instead of black, doesn't matter. Whatever works for you. And then save. And then once I'm all finished, I can go to prepare signing. And it lets me know that it was saved. Okay, so this is the signing name. I have the option of selecting the folder that it goes to once it's returned. So once the document goes out to the parties and they sign it and it comes back to me, what folder do I want it to go to? I'm super OCD, so I like to have like my ratified folder. Anything that's signed official, maybe I want to have it like a signed folder. If it really doesn't matter to you, you can just put it in, say, like the closed folder, create. It's going to send it out to me. I'm going to sign it really quickly, and then it'll come back into my transaction. So just give me 1 second. Let me go in so you can all see what that looks like. All right. So from here, I can also set my signing order. So very similar to DocuSign. If I have somebody who wants to sign before the other, I can just come in here and turn this on, add the participants. So I can add myself, add somebody new, add from the transaction, or add from contacts. I can map the signers. So I can say, hey, who needs to get this? When should they get it? Assign signature blocks if I need to. Oh yeah, probably would help if I added at least one person. So I'm gonna add myself. All right, so now that I've added myself, got my name, my role. So whether I'm the admin, buyer, buyer's agent, buyer broker, buyer's lawyer, listing agent. So just say, or let me do seller for now. All right, save. Again, if I would have added myself from the transaction, see, I can add myself. My roles are, already marked as the seller or listing agent. It's just that when I initially did it, I just did add myself. Okay, so I hope this doesn't confuse anybody.
What about if husband and wife share an email address?
Then I would definitely just do signing order and send it to one before the other. Okay. And then since you asked that question, it's a really good point. So what also happens is if you have this signing order selected, right, it'll go out to say like the wife, and then it'll go out to the husband. But they can't see it unless signing order is selected. So they can't see who signed unless signing order is collected or selected. If you sent it out to everybody, your clients are only going to see it after everybody is signed. So with signing order, you can see who has signed it. Without signing order, you cannot. So that's something that we've also noticed. So the signing order is kind of like saying, hey, everyone can see I signed after I've signed. But if it all goes out to everybody, go ahead.
Because I find that I normally send it to the husband because he's the one that wants to read it, and the wife, not all people are like that. But so I send it to the most important person first so they can review it, and then the second person can sign because the husband said, just sign it. I read it. Everything's good.
Yeah. Whoever you're more like analytical of the two is, if they have a preference, like It's fine. You can come in anytime you see like these 6 dots right
But I
here.
couldn't put husband and wife 1 and 1.
Right. So,
Because some, like, for
mhm,
example,
mhm,
um, I don't know how I did it, but I did it. I guess I had tenant and tenant as number 1,
mhm,
and the wife signed, and then the husband came home from work and then signed.
mhm.
So it's, sometimes you have to wait, like, okay, Dale, I just sent it to you to review. After Dale signs, now it's gonna go to your husband, Bob. I mean, I find that I have to tell my clients by text this all the time. So I think this order is, hey, when someone has 5 minutes to read an email and they need to sign it, let them go for it. But if it has to, let's say the wife works till 6 o'clock.
Mhm.
So that means, no one's signing because the wife didn't sign, or, vice versa. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it makes sense. And I would just say, like, in that specific example that you had given, so if it is like somebody's busy, somebody is occupied, you don't have to set signing order. You can just turn it off. And then it just goes
You
to everyone.
can turn it off.
Yeah. It actually starts, the default for it is off. But I was just
Okay.
saying, if you have a situation where you want to send it out to people in a particular order and a certain fashion, you
Well,
can
I
absolutely.
understand, let's say that you're working with, tenant and the uh sellers or owners
Mhm,
of the property. Yes, you want them to review that document because it's their house. And the
mhm.
tenants have to follow whatever rules and regulations were set up for that addendum.
Gotcha.
So
Right.
I understand why you would turn that on then. The wife and the husband sign, and then they've okayed it. They don't ask me to make any changes. Then it would, after they sign, then I would tag the third person and the fourth person.
Right. Or if you knew, for example, hey, this has to go through, let's say, like the landlords to review it and make sure it's what they want. And
Right,
then it has to go through the tenants, or then let's say like it has to go through the broker. I don't know, I'm just making this up. And then the
right.
tenants, you could absolutely just do 1, 2, 3, 4, and it goes in that order. Or you could have, 2 people at one, and then both of your or all of your ones get it. Then your 2 gets it, and then your 3s are your tenants, and then the
Okay,
tenants
so
get it.
Brandon Long, the seller.
Mm-hmm. So like, let
So
me.
basically, you logged onto your computer. Oh, Terry sent me a document. Oh, let me go ahead and sign that.
Correct.
Now, basically, you're the same person there. So that's a bad example. But let's say it was your wife, and let's
Mm-hmm.
say your wife looked at it first and said, okay, I'll sign it because you're both ones.
Right.
Got it. I understand.
Brandon.
Yes.
So tagging on what Terry was asking, if you don't set a signing order, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
used to DocuSign, which always had one, does it go out to all the people at the same time? And then it says you will be emailed a finalized version of the document when the signing is complete, assuming it collects all those signatures and puts them into one document. So it's twofold question. Does it go out to everybody at one time if you don't have a signing order? And
Yes.
okay. And then when it comes back, it gives you only have one version with everybody's signature. You don't have 10 of them.
Correct. You only have one version with everybody's signature.
Everybody's on there. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
Which is, yeah, no problem. Thanks for the questions. Okay. So then your document will be again prepared. You'll have everybody's signature blocks where it's required.
Mhm.
Oh, go for it, Jim.
FaceTime. Huh.
All right. And then just get to the bottom of this. All right, so then I have my initials here. And then we talked about, again, just having everything kind of in one place. Once I click on this, I can access like my signature tools. So again, if I want to change the colors, I can. But for the most part, everything here is good to go. Once I hit next, yeah, at least one sign of action, I'll take back and I don't have a feel for them. Finals. Let's go to sign time. So what I didn't do and what it's asking me to do is, because I had myself on here twice, just got a little confused on who is who. So instead of a signer, a remote signer, so somebody that's not here, I'm going to do CC, which just means that I get a copy. So similar to DocuSign, it's like, hey, after I sign, I want to make sure I get a copy, or this person gets a copy. So I'm just adding that option in here. And I'm going to save it. And now it just says CC at the end. So for those of you in like coaching, those of you who maybe have like a, what do you call it? Like a team lead who needs to review this kind of stuff. That's how you want to add. That's one way you can add them to a specific document. Of course, like you can just add them to the transaction, but you have that option as well. And then I'll hit next. It'll give me the option to set an expiration date. So, hey, do you want to sign today, tomorrow? When do you want the last option for them to be able to sign? And then I'll hit send. And now everything's been sent. The invitation is just, again, the invitation to Lone Wolf. Inside of signings, I can see that the document has been sent. I can see what the progress is. So 0 of 1 person signed. So to your question, Joyce, like if I have multiple people, I'm waiting to see who signed. This is another place I can check. If I realize that I made an error, I can hit these 3 dots and go to reset. And that'll stop allowing anyone who is actively like working on it to be able to sign it. It'll lock in place anybody who has already signed. But if there are people who still have not signed, it'll lock the document from it being able to be signed. All right. And then I'm just going to signing, accept.
In DocuSign, it would say Dale has signed. Or Dale has viewed.
Right. So like you could like hide or do like different things with that. But here's it's just pretty straightforward. Just like, hey, I'm going to reset.
But so we're not going to get emails now that says Dale signed.
Well, I just signed
Then
it.
I know that it would go to Bob.
Right. So I just signed it. So I'm going to refresh my screen now so you can see, and it shows completed. So you're not seeing it on your end, but I'm getting like several different emails that are coming to my phone saying like, Brennan has signed. Congratulations, you're all done. Signing complete. So
Okay, so we will get emails still when
you will.
one person
It
signs.
just, like I said, here, let me see what this one too.
Great. I'm just trying to think of things that DocuSign does that you kind of get used to.
Yeah, so just give me 1 second. I'm going to show you. It's just I'm looking at it through, or we're looking at it through the Lone Wolf side.
Oh, honey, I believe you. You don't have to do that.
No, I mean just it's a learning experience, right? So we can all see it. So see, it shows up authenticsign. So I got both of those in, and then when it came in, it said, "Hey, your signature is requested." So all that good stuff.
Okay.
All right. So now we're gonna go back here, and then we will start our wrap up of today. So I hopefully you can kind of see why I didn't want to really like get into like try to force feed too much to you guys, because it's a lot just getting this far. But our next session, we will go through a little more of, like I used to teach a class on how to get offers done in 5 minutes using DocuSign. So I am in the process of rewriting that class for Lone Wolf. So again, you'll see very soon that we'll go through all those. because like we didn't really touch on a to-do list, but I mean, that's pretty straightforward. Your timeline is just going to show, like I said, based on those dates. So when we put in the smart dates earlier and we said, hey, I set this date so that it knows. So it says Saturday, this is due. June 14th, this is due. On and on and on. History just shows like everything that's done in the transaction. So there's a lot to it, but if you focus on what we talked about today, focus on the things that are going to be in that slide deck that I'm going to send over, that'll be enough to get you through the transition piece. The most important thing to take from this is that deadline, July 14th. Don't let it sneak up on you. Feel free to book, time or, reach out to me if you have any questions. I'll get you on a calendar. It's not going to take long to get you switched over. It's a little different, but for the most part, your process is still the same. It's all going to go into command. It's all pushing to one other section. Once you learn a little bit of where this is, where that is, you may encounter one or two times of, hey, like I looked for a document, it wasn't there. Let me know. Once you let me know, I'll do everything I can to get it fixed for you. I'll do everything I can to get it addressed. Some of the things we're going to cover on our next session will be templates. I want to make sure that you all are getting those in and out. It'll be how to properly use the clauses. We'll also do like adding TCs, adding team members, adding coaches, understanding some of the nuances with them, because again, you can only access documents if you have or you can only edit documents if you have a license for that document. So if your TC is not licensed, your TC can't access that document like they did in DocuSign as themselves. They're going to have to log in as you. They can access it from your account and you can add them to a transaction and they can see the document, but they can't say, oh, I'm going to pull in a West Virginia residential contract if they're not licensed. So there are a few nuances that we have to go through. So just stick with me. Like, don't let it frustrate you. If you are having a rough day and the system isn't doing what you needed to do, take a break, come back to it, and then, we'll work on it together as a team, okay? I want to use this last bit of time and just kind of open the floor up for any questions. Is there anybody maybe who just saw something they didn't like, saw something they didn't like, maybe came in a little late and missed a certain portion of it? Like, how are we feeling? What are you guys thinking? What are your thoughts?
It looks more intuitive
Very much so.
than DocuSign. Being a newer agent and having to learn DocuSign, this looks more follow the bouncing ball. But
yeah, I would say so. I think I like where they're going with it. At first I was just like, another change. And now I'm like, you know what? It looks a lot easier. I mean, maybe just because I taught DocuSign for so long, I didn't have a problem with DocuSign, but I have definitely seen like people have really bad days around DocuSign. So anything that causes, like people that much stress, I'm like, just do away with it.
yeah, DocuSign was a lot to learn for me, but it wasn't like it was just another program to learn.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't horrible.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm belong to two different offices, Reston and Winchester. So when I start a transaction, it'll send it to whatever office I am, so it auto-populate. Do we still have the same, like for Lone Wolf, for like because I have to use different addresses for depending on what office I'm writing out of.
Yes. Great question, Lucy. So basically what that is, and I have a similar thing, but mine's just a little different because I'm Florida and Virginia. But so you are probably licensed in two different states, right?
Yeah, 3. Yeah.
All right. So 3. Oh, congrats. So when you select that office, and we're not talking about Lone Wolf yet, this is going to be in opportunities. So when you're in opportunities, you want to make sure that you select the right office that that license is held under, because that's what's going to give you access to those documents. Then on that documents tab, still in opportunities, you're going to select the checklist, and that's where you're going to select what state you're working this transaction for.
Okay.
Once you get there, you sync with Transact, you'll go into Lone Wolf, and that's where it'll allow you to pull in those documents. or I'm sorry, that's where those documents should already be pre-populated. And similar to like what Terry was saying earlier, I just believe she's in one office. That's how it's going to work for anybody that's licensed in multiple offices. And what connects all those things together is your NRDS ID, which is why we don't use your local real estate ID to pull in your forms. Your national is the one that connects all of your brokerages, or I'm sorry, all of your market centers. The local one is just like, I'm licensed in Virginia, I'm licensed in Maryland, I'm licensed in DC, I'm licensed in Florida. Versus the national, which is like the National Association of Realtors, is going to say, oh, you have 5 different licenses. Like, here's access to all 5. But the key to that is just selecting the right market center when you're creating that opportunity.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Next question. Okay. So you all feeling okay? Like I said, I hope to see just as many people on our next session. So quick. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Annabelle.
So I think I already linked the lone wolf.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do the clear cookie. Is that a problem?
No. If it works for you, that's fine. It's just more so like
I think I
sometimes.
just saw it list on the app we can link and I just connected.
Yeah, no, it's
But
fine. If it worked, it worked. It's just more so one of those things where if like we try to over prepare you. So it's like, hey, if we can, save you a little bit of a headache, great. If you have to, it's not hard to do. If you didn't do it, it's okay.
okay.
As long as it worked for you.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, what day, I have a question for you all. What day is DocuSign sunsetting?
July 14th.
July 14th.
All right. Very good. Very good. I can tell you this. There are several like tech trainers who have already taken the 14th off and they will be unavailable. And it's not because of people like you, but it's because of all the other people who are going to say, I didn't get an invite to any of these classes or sessions or whatnot. Now, I'm not telling you I'm going to be one of those people.
Oh my
But if I just so happen to get the 24-hour flu on July 14th,
God.
you know why?
I do have another question.
Yes.
So every transaction that it's closed and it's been submitted, do we need to do anything, or is it gonna go it's gonna go automatically to the drive if we ever need to access it?
Not even better than that. If it's already closed,
Yeah.
right? And you've already been paid out on it, it's already saved to the office because you submitted it through command for compliance. So
Okay.
you don't need to touch it.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I'm going to give you guys a heads up. Since you stuck around and you stayed this long, I have another bit of info for you. This is back on the serious note. Friday, I found out that the next feature that we are sunsetting is WeBrand. Does anybody know what WeBrand is? Okay.
Nope.
WeBrand is I'm sharing my screen for this so I can show you. WeBrand is the company that we originally, so when we first started Keller Williams, or not Keller Williams, when we first started Command, it's the company that we use for designs. So that's the section of Command where you create like your, pictures and postcards and all that kind of stuff. So this designs applet in here, Keller Williams, that's not a Keller Williams thing. If I hit create design, you'll notice that the tab at the top, I'm sorry, it's just running a little slow because I'm sharing my screen again. So let me just do like print, right? So I'm gonna show you this really quickly. It's only taking me like 2 minutes to go over. All
We're
right.
losing that, Brandon?
I'm sorry.
Losing that part of it, correct?
Yeah. So you see up here at the top, it says kw.webrand.com.
Yeah.
So WeBrand, our agreement with them, the puts, right?
Oh, boy.
Now, as you know, we have Canva. So you have Canva. So like, feel good. We already have a replacement. We know what's replacing with it. Why I'm telling you this now and why you can probably hear some of like the hesitation in my voice is this. We brand designs is connected to a few different things. Those things are your email campaigns and command when you do those nice fancy emails, your smart plans, okay, as well as like a few other things like your saved documents in here. Now, the part of it that we're fighting hard for you on is this. The inside of command, it says that it's going away July 10th. It's June 10th, not July 10th. Okay. So if you have anything inside of here that you like really use, postcard templates, a listing presentation or something that like you've been working on since you started and just never used, whatever it is that you want to save, you got to get in here and download it. Oh, they just changed it. It's been saying like July 10th all week. It's June 10th. It's another one of those things that's going away. I can't help you when it's gone. You already have access to Canva. If you don't know this, KW or KW.Canva, Canva.KW, one of the two. Try it. If it doesn't work, flip it and reverse it. It'll work. But just kind of keep in mind, like all these little assets and stuff that I have inside of here, gone. So if you have stuff that you use in here, okay. The one answer I do not have for you right now is what happens to your smart plans with graphics. I don't know. No idea. And I've got a ton of them. So keep an eye out for your email over the next couple of days. I had them send one out Friday that had something in there just to say like, hey, this is what's going on. I don't know.
So are you saying that, yes, I understand to get the designs out, but are you saying that all the smart plans and campaigns are also connected because they're connected to the designs and that's going away? Or you don't know where that's
if
going?
you have a smart plan that uses graphics. You can have a smart plan that just has words.
Correct, but all
That's
mine
fine.
all mine have
But
graphics in them from designs.
right. So if it has graphics and they're pulling from designs, I don't know what comes next.
So
So
if
I don't know if there's a mechanism somewhere in the back end where it's not affected, but I, like me and all the other tech trainers, can't figure out how you get rid of designs without getting rid of the smart plan feature that pulls the design into the smart plan.
So I understand what you're saying. It makes perfect sense. If we pull the design, if I pull my designs out, I'm assuming that my smart plan is not part of We Brand. So that's not going away.
Right. But what is part is the graphic.
Yeah. But when I go
Right.
to do my next smart plan or my next campaign, like the newsletter that you've been working with me for years on, I have to go to a different place to get the designs because this is going away.
Right. So I would say export, like in your example is a perfect example. Export the template that you use for your email,
Right.
for your email newsletter, export it, download it, upload it into Canva, and you're okay going forward. But what has been anything that you don't do that with is going to be gone on the 10th.
Okay. So I haven't been able to figure out how to get into the Canva thing either. So you and I are going to spend a lot of time together next week.
Yeah. So it's
However,
just canva.kw.com.
okay. So
You have to put in the KW, otherwise it's going to take you to regular Canva. Canva.kw.com.
Canva. Okay. So in my instance, those newsletters start as PowerPoints. And then you showed me how to change them. I got to save them, change them to either PNG or JPEGs to upload to the smart plan. I'm going to assume, and I shouldn't assume anything, but if I take those PowerPoints into a smart plan, do I still need to convert it, or was the conversion because of designs?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I can't tell you. I don't know. You
Oh
know,
my God. Oh,
it's
good
going to
Lord.
change. Hey, listen, you don't have to break this to 600 people.
Oh my goodness.
So I
Oh, Brandon, you and I have worked on those designs and smart plans for years.
Hey, look, can you see the bottom of my screen? You see how many graphics I got in here?
Yeah, I know. All right.
580.
I don't have that many.
So
I just need to be timely in getting those newsletters out. Okay.
on the same week of like Lone Wolf transitions, like it's they're keeping us on our toes. But again, I can only hope and pray, because what I do know is happening though, they're moving Canva into Command.
Okay.
So, to like move it in, like at least they're erasing it and replacing it, right? It'd be different if they were like, we're getting rid of it.
Are they moving it in before June 10th? Because today's June 1st. We have 9 days.
Right. And like I said, I found out Friday. So I let you know like within my like time of acceptance, which is like 3 business days.
Okie
So
dokie.
they told me Friday at like 4:00. I'm telling you all today, and like, hey, be glad you showed up. Because I sent an email out Friday. I didn't get any responses. So I don't even know if people saw it.
No, but I saw it, but I didn't quite panic.
Right.
But
so let's get in here, do that. Again, if you have any questions on it, you need any help, just reach out to me. But the biggest one is the Lone Wolf one, because again, like we're talking about money on that, right? So like this is like your livelihood, your bread and butter, how you're going to eat. And again, like right now, we can fix a lot of issues, errors, walk you through a lot of different things because we have access to Lone Wolf and DocuSign. If you wait till that day, like I probably can't do very much. This, I'm not super worried about the designs portion, because I got to think like there are people at Keller Williams International way smarter than me, and they have to understand like the kind of pushback this is going to cause. So I can only imagine that like they're going to turn around tomorrow and tell us like, oh, don't worry, everything else is going to be fine. But I'm just telling you to, like I would want someone to tell me, just prepare. Worst case, you got your images and stuff downloaded and saved. Like best case, you don't have to do anything. So just we're planning ahead, right? That's what we're realtors. We're realtors, we're therapists, we're, peacemakers, all that. We do it all.
Guess you and I will be spending a lot more time together between this week and next.
Yeah, just say the word. But remember, July 14th. A joke. All right, friends, I'm starving and tikka masala is for dinner. So you guys have a good day. I'll be on tomorrow if you need any tech support. Email me, text me tomorrow at noon. You will have all the recordings and the PowerPoints. I just got to get everything to render, and I'll condense it a little bit so it's not such a huge file, but I'm here for you, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon.
No problem. Thanks for showing up. I'll see you all soon. Please be safe.
Take care, you too. Bye-bye.
My pleasure.